When it comes to trailer wiring, do you know what the single most important wire in your harness or in your plug is? Well, if you do know what it is, raise your hand and watch the video anyways. But if you don't know what it is, stick around. We're going to cover it. We're going to talk about it, show you the ins and outs, and hopefully answer any questions and help you diagnose any lighting problems that you may have. So when it comes to trailer wiring, my semi-professional opinion is this: the most important and many times overlooked wire in the system is the ground wire. I will tell you, when you're dealing with DC wiring, 12-volt wiring, especially that's what we're talking about in the trailer world, if the ground is not good, the ground is going to cause you problems. May cause you to pull your hair out, may cause you to say a few words that's not going to make mama proud. So we're going to look and we're going to talk about the ground wire. We've gotten some questions about, do you need a ground at the light location? Can you ground at the harness? What type? So this is a ground wire. I use this for the video because the little ground wire wouldn't show up. This is not a ground wire we would use on this trailer application, but we do use this in one of our trailer applications that's completely different than this, but it is a ground wire that we use. It's a big boy. It's 2/0, 5/16 hole. Yeah, so it's a big one, but we're not gonna use that one today. We're gonna use a regular ground wire. We're gonna talk about some plugs. So when I first started in the working around the trailer and truck world, maybe in the close to the late 90s, I don't want to give all of my age away. The way it was back in the old days, you got your ground from right here, from the trailer ball. I know in certain parts of the country it's called different things. Sometimes I'll have somebody call and ask for one of these in a language that I don't understand because it's in a different part of our country. We call them trailer balls around here. I heard them called trailer knobs. I call them ball hitches, all different kinds of stuff. But the ball that goes on the bumper that you would have hooked your trailer to is where we used to receive the ground. It would be grounded through the chassis on the tow vehicle. It would ground through the ball, through the coupler, then supply ground to the rest of the trailer. And it worked pretty decent back in the old days. But then starting around the late 90s, it started getting popular. We went to these fancy hitches here because truck heights started getting different height, trailer heights were different, and it gave you an option to do a drop, a rise, or just a straight. The problem is, when you take that and you have a receiver on your truck, there's not a whole lot of ground in there. Maybe after you get some wear on it, maybe after you pull it some, you would get some metal to metal contact, but most of the products are powder coated. So they have a very good coating that took a while to wear off. And we started seeing a lot of ground issues back in those days. They were easily and quickly corrected, but it would make people pull their hair out. They would call and say, this trailer's worked fine. We'd ask the question, I got a new pickup, the wiring must be different. We get that all the time. My Chevrolet's wired different than my Ford. Well, really, they're not. The colors in them may be different, but pin locations have always been the same. There's been a little difference on the trailer side depending on the 6-pin and the 7-blade RV style plug. There's been some changes on that. And even on the 6-pin, depending on whether you had an aluminum trailer or you had a steel trailer, there was a couple changes on that when it dealt with the brakes. But the ground was the ground. Now, white doesn't make the ground the ground. What makes the ground the ground is the pin location that it's in your trailer plug, in your truck plug where you make the connection, and what you've done. Most of the time it's going to be white, but it could be any other color under the sun depending on who wired it. There are some manufacturers that do change up the wiring. I don't know why. Maybe just to give us a hard time, but they do that. We're not going to point any of those out. That's their thing. They usually put a very good schematic on there that tells that. If you don't have a schematic, if you look inside your wiring color, let me grab a plug real quick. This is a molded 7 RV blade, and it's got a white wire. And if you'll notice something, I don't know if you can tell that in the picture, the white is quite a bit bigger than the yellow wire there. The blue is not quite as big as the white, and the black is big. So we get asked that all the time. Why is the white bigger? Well, the ground, you want to run a bigger wire. If you're wiring your trailer yourself, whether you're using a 7-blade or if you're using a 6-pin, if you can put it in there, try to use a little bit bigger wire. Now, if you're using a 4-flat or something like that, I've got one of these, you're stuck. It's going to come with a little wire. It may be 14, 16, 18, depending on which plug you go with. You can buy some of these that are a little heavier. Then it also depends on the truck size. Some of the older trucks use a small ground wire. Most of the new ones are going to use something closer to a 10-gauge wire just to give you a better chassis ground. So The reason that the ground is overlooked, I think it's just because people don't know. It's not anybody's fault. You don't think about it. Your lights start flickering. If you bring a trailer in for me to look at and it's got light flicker, or it's got all the lights are flashing when you've got a turn signal on, or you don't have a light working, I'm always going to check the ground first. Maybe you've got a brand new pickup, maybe you've got an old pickup. I'm usually going to check the condition of the plug on the tow vehicle, because many times, even with a new pickup, you'll run over something in the highway, it will damage the back side of the plug that's on the tow vehicle, and you could have an issue there. So we're always going to check for ground. We're going to start at the tow vehicle and work our way back. One of the questions we get, do you need to ground at the light location, or where do you need to put the ground? So hold tight, I'm gonna grab some lights that have some different hookup connections on there. We'll talk about those and I'll give you my 2 cents worth. So what is best? Is it better to ground the wire at the light location, or whatever you're putting on 12-volt related, or is it better to run a single wire all the way back? Part of that is gonna depend on what type of light you have. If you see this light here, this is a single wire light. This is what powers the light. It actually grounds through the housing of the light. So whatever fastener you put this on, whether it be a rivet or a screw, that's where the ground is, that completes the circuit. So it has to have that. Some other lights will have a ground wire built in. If you're running an LED, most of the time it's going to have a ground wire, but they still make a few stud mount style lights that ground through the body, as this one here. So it's got 2 prongs in the back. It is an LED. This is your power supply. Your ground will go through there, that will go into the trailer frame or the trailer chassis, however you want to call it. And then even some of these bad boys. So on this, you have a couple of contacts where you actually strip, twist, and push the wire in, and it actually grounds through the stud on here. Then you have the same style light. This is the LED version. This is incandescent. This one comes with a ground wire with an eyelet on it. So that asks the question, do you use the eyelet, or what do you do there? Here, I'm gonna give you some things I don't like about grounding to the actual trailer frame. A lot of it depends on how it is grounded. So many times an eyelet is used. I don't know if you can see that or not, but an eyelet is used that clips onto the ground wire, and this can be attached to the trailer frame. It can be used a self-tapping screw, machine screw, or a rivet. A rivet is my least favorite way. You put the rivet in, you crimp it down, it gets tight, but most of the time, this being aluminum going into especially a steel trailer, you can get some corrosion just due from the aluminum contacting the steel. And these are just bad about getting a little bit loose, and you will cause you light flicker, or it will cause the light not to work at all. So I don't prefer the rivet. I will say in some scenarios in the install, the way the light is manufactured, that's really your only choice. The head of the screw, it's not enough clearance to put the light on it. There's just some interference there, so sometimes you have to use the ground. You have to use the rivet to make the ground. Self-tapper, if you were going to use some type of fastener, I'm going to try to use a screw-in style fastener if you have to go that route. For me, I'd rather use a bolt. If you can sneak a little machine screw in there or a bolt, try that. That's just going to give you a better connection. On these, there's really no choice. It has to have some type of fastener. I see these riveted on, I see them screwed on, and I do see them bolted. I prefer bolted, but you know, if that's not what you have, use what you've got, use what you want, make that decision. But if you start having some issue, go check the ground first. If this light is not working, and if you were to open it up and take a test light and check, and if you have power to one of the sides of the light, then either the bulb is burnt out or there's no ground on there. If it's LED and you've got power, either it's burnt out or there's no ground. It's likely a ground issue. So before you go out and buy a bunch of lights, just check that out. So the question is, what's better? A common ground, and a common ground would be a ground from the front of the trailer all the way through the system. So all of your lights, so if you're running this system here, so all of your wiring would connect to the same wire. So you're gonna have one ground coming from your plug, whether that's 7, 6, 4, 5, whatever you have on your connector. And these are they're gonna clip in, they're gonna go in with butt connectors, they're gonna be soldered if you're fired up, however they go on, but you're gonna have one ground that goes through the whole system. If you're using a chassis ground, You may have this light and this grounding through here. Same with this one. This would be a chassis ground type. Or you may have this. So this gives you the option. So I see a lot of people will tuck it in right here, put it on the stud. That is a chassis ground. If you take that off, cut that, strip it, use a butt connector to put it into the common ground, then that's a common ground system. Both will work. If everything's clean, if your chassis ground, all of your connection points are clean, it's gonna work just fine. I will say, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, do what you want. If you have every light to a chassis ground, you could argue the fact that that's more connections, you know, more to wiggle loose, more problematic, especially on some of the aluminum stuff, or on steel if you live in a salty climate to where you're gonna get some corrosion and you're gonna have a light go out, you're gonna have some light flicker. I really prefer a common ground. I like putting all of my stuff on one wire and using a heavier wire on that, butt connecting it, heat shrinking in, grounding all my stuff, but I will always ground the trailer out. I will always put a jumper at the junction box somewhere up front, just in case I want to add a chassis ground, or just to make sure that the trailer is grounded out. So that way, if you do have a light that's shorted, if you have this wire here, if it becomes frayed and you have an exposed wire for, say, your turn signal, and it touches the frame, if that frame is not grounded, it may or may not pop the fuse on the circuit. So I'm gonna have a chassis ground up at the front that comes out of my common ground. That way, if it contacts, it's gonna pop a fuse so that it, you know, doesn't burn my trailer down or overheat. Speaking of overheating, one way to find a ground wire issue is if you were having an issue, plug that in, turn your headlights, whatever you may have, go around and start feeling your wiring. Always feel the grounds first if you have a chassis ground or even you have a butt connector. If it's warm or if it's hot, then it's trying to make a connection. It's struggling to make that connection. They should really never be warm. The only time they should be warm if it's in the middle of August here and all the wires are warm. But if it's in the cold of winter and you got one and you touch it, you're like, whoo, that dude is hot. You have a connection issue. That connection is going to break down. It's going to melt the wiring. It's going to cause a major short. It could just simply pop the fuse if your system is wired correctly, or you could have some major trouble. You could have a wire burn. Because imagine this. If you have a bad wire in this whole harness, say this is your feed wire through your whole trailer, and if you don't pop the fuse, and that's why fuses are important, you get one heated up, it could burn all the rest. I've seen these come in to where these are almost all welded together where they've gotten hot and they've just burned out and not popped the circuit, the breaker, or the fuse. So for me, I'm a big fan of common ground, running one big ground, hooking all my lights, and then grounding it either at the rear of the trailer or at the front. I just like to do it up front with a bolt and a larger eyelet. Usually try to use like a 1/4 inch bolt on that. If you do live in that environment where you're gonna be driving through road salt, or if you live on the coast where you have salty atmosphere, you're gonna need to check some of those chassis ground locations more often. If you're running a common ground, you're just gonna simply need to check your truck connection or your tow vehicle connection. I say trucks because that's what we pull mainly around here, but I know not everybody uses a truck. So your tow vehicle, whatever application you may be running, check those connections on that. So if you're having that light flicker, having a light issue, always check the ground. In my opinion, it is the most important wire on there. If the ground is not grounding, if it's not completing the circuit, the light's not going to work. I don't care how many times you kick it, how many times you cuss at it, it's just not going to work. You got to fix the ground. So hopefully that helps. We have some other wiring videos we'll leave in the link in the description below, maybe help you wire your plug, kind of a better idea what to look for. But if you're struggling with that, or if you're taking it into a shop somewhere, you know, just have them look at the ground. If it's a qualified shop, that's likely the first place they're going to look. If you're in need of any products or connections, be sure to check the link in the description below. I'll leave a link to some of the stuff we've showed here, to some other stuff that I use that may be handy, that may help you out. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road.